shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the children are gay. 'Tis summer, children are gay. Corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, thank you. This is really a special evening. You know, unfortunately, in this community, we have so many positive things going that people take for granted. And when in fact, in so many communities as I travel around the Commonwealth of Kentucky, what you're experiencing tonight and other activities throughout this community are not the kinds of things that happen all over Kentucky. They happen here because companies like Hilliard Lyons, for the second year, a commitment to ensure that folks understand the business community, the nonprofit community, the higher education community, the government community, all believes in what you all are doing, what you have accomplished, and the kinds of things that we see for opportunities in the future. And whether it's U of L or Bellarmine, or whether it's the Jefferson Community College, whether it's Carbide, whether it's Zeon Chemical, whether it's United Way, or whether it's a family like the Hilton family, who have stepped up to remind folks that we appreciate the principals and outstanding teachers that we have here in this community, in this school system. This is the night to be able to do that. And Hilliard gives us the opportunity for a second year in a row to say thank you so much and how much we appreciate what you're about. Let me just say that as I travel the Commonwealth of Kentucky, all I hear from business folks and educators around the entire Commonwealth is how we need more skilled, productive, educated young people for the future of economic growth. And if I've learned one thing with the over 2 decades as mayor of this community, it is that it takes a caring adult in the life of a child to make that difference, to ultimately focus on the importance of becoming productive and becoming educated and becoming skilled for the future. And the bottom line is that the caring adults who are in this room tonight, the teachers and the principals who go the extra mile, who work in a collaborative way with the other teachers in their schools, who engage with the kids and make a difference in the lives of those children, you put that together and we will have the future of Kentucky as a bright perspective for economic growth and economic vitality. So on behalf of myself, my wife, the governor, and the Commonwealth of Kentucky, we tip our hat to all those who sponsored the evening, especially Hilliard Lyons, and we sincerely thank all of the men and women who are receiving awards today for what you do and for the ones that you represent, your colleagues who didn't make the cut, but you know darn well are back at the schools making a difference each and every day in the lives of those children that need the guidance and those students who need the support. So congratulations to all those tonight that are receiving the awards, and thank you, Hilliard Lyons, for giving me an opportunity to come and be with you this evening. Thank you all.
You know, I think the Lieutenant Governor said it well when you talk about the inspiration that our teachers provide. I know a number of us who serve on the foundation board have the opportunity periodically to visit our schools and see the passionate, caring, and committed leadership that we have in the form of the principals and the teachers in those schools, and that was really the inspiration behind this event. Now I'd like to introduce really the gentleman who got this process going as it relates to having Marshall with us this evening. His name is Fritz Hollenbeck. He is really a catalyst for this. When Fritz and I met 7 months ago, he spoke about Marshall's keen interest in Valley High, his alma mater, and its ability to prepare students for the jobs of the future. Fritz and Marshall, both from Louisville, have followed the progress of JCPS and Superintendent Hargan's leadership approach to the numerous challenges confronting urban school systems in the 21st century. Fritz presented several ideas he and Marshall had, and we discussed the best way to support and encourage the positive directions occurring at JCPS, especially at Valley. Fritz uses Marshall's proven coaching methodologies to achieve PLC, which stands for Positive, Lasting Change in a Manager's Behavior. Marshall, best-selling book, Who Got You Here Won't Get You There, explains how to achieve PLC. Let's thank Marshall and his friends who flew in today to support this effort, Beverly Kay, Jeff Smart, and Elliot Macy, and Fritz for donating their time to support JCPS and the foundation. How about a round of applause for that group? It's now my pleasure to introduce Marshall Goldsmith, and this won't be easy because there's a lot to talk about here. Dr. Marshall Goldsmith was recognized in 2011 as the #1 leadership thinker in the world at the biannual Thinkers 50 ceremony sponsored by the Harvard Business Review. Marshall Goldsmith is the million-selling author or editor of 34 books, including the New York Times and Wall Street Journal bestsellers Mojo and What Got You Here Won't Get You There. A Wall Street Journal #1 business book and winner of the Harold Longman Award for Business Book of the Year. His books have been translated into 28 languages and have become bestsellers in 10 countries. Marshall has a long list of professional acknowledgments. Dr. Goldsmith's PhD is from UCLA's Anderson School of Management, where in 2012 he was recognized as the Distinguished Alumnus of the Year. He teaches executive education at Dartmouth's Tuck School and frequently speaks at leading business schools. He is one of the select few executive advisors who have been asked to work with over 150 major CEOs and their management teams. He served on the board of the Peter Drucker Foundation for 10 years. He has been a volunteer teacher for the U.S. Army generals, Navy admirals, Girl Scout executives, International and American Red Cross leaders, where he was a National Volunteer of the Year. Please join me in welcoming Marshall Goldsmith, Valley High School graduate.
Thank you very much. Very honored to be here. I am a graduate not only of Valley High School, I'm a graduate of Cosmosdale Elementary School. So I went to Cosmosdale Elementary School, then Watson Lane, then Valley High School. So I'm very honored to be here and honored to be with all the wonderful educators and teachers who are making such a positive difference in the community. It's kind of challenging for me to give a short talk, but I'm going to do my best. And as a teacher, I always like to try to teach people something. And my classes are not just listening to lectures, they're all experiential. So you're now going to have 20 seconds to find 1 or 2 partners at your table you're going to be working with. To your marks, get set, find a partner. Go, 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 go. Now, I'm going to teach you something called peer coaching. In peer coaching, you are not here to judge your partner. You are not here to critique your partner. You're not here to put your partner down. You're here to help your partner. I want you to shake hands with your partner and say, partner, my name is, I'm here to help. Go, shake hands with your partner. Go, 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 go. Now, about 3 years ago, I'm a fellow of something called the National Academy of Human Resources. Now, what do I do for a living? I do 3 things. One is I give talks or teach classes, and I travel all around the world doing that. I was in the Dominican Republic this morning, so I travel all around the world. I've been to 90 countries. I give talks or teach classes. I coach executives, which is what I'm most famous for. So my coaching clients are CEOs or could be CEOs of huge companies. So I've been the coach of the CEO of Ford and Pfizer and Glaxo and Walmart and the president of the World Bank and all kinds of fascinating people. And coaching is where I learn everything. And then I write books and articles. So I've done a whole bunch of books and articles, and I have a website. I give all my materials away. And writing is how I reach people. So I've got a wonderful job. The only hard part of my job is I travel constantly. On American Airlines alone, I have over 11 million frequent flyer miles. Have any of you seen the movie called Up in the Air with George Clooney? Have you seen this movie? I have the card. And by the way, this special card, this always happens to me when I show the card to people, especially women. They always say the same thing. You look exactly like George Clooney. Now, I'm going to try in a very short time to teach you something you can actually take back and use. So rather than some just sort of generic keynote here, I'm going to actually try to teach you something you can use. 3 years ago, I went to a meeting at the National Academy of Human Resources. I'm a fellow of this National Academy, and they're mostly heads of HR from huge companies, and then a few people like me who are consultants. And they did a presentation on employee engagement. And 100% of the presentation was what the company can do to engage you. 0 was what you can do to engage yourself. I'm not exaggerating, 0. It was all, what is somebody going to do to engage you, and nothing about what are you going to do to engage you. Well, I listened to this, and everything they said was good. I had no problems with it, but I thought they were missing half the equation. Now I'm flying on the airplane all the time. On a typical 3-hour flight, there's one flight attendant that's positive, motivated, upbeat, enthusiastic. One's negative, bitter, angry, and cynical. Have any of you ever been on that flight before? Well, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, they're in the same pay, in the same uniform, the same customers. What's the difference? The difference isn't on the outside, it's on the inside. So I came up with this idea now, it's going to be in my next book, of teaching people to engage themselves. Now that's one train of thought. The second train of thought is something that I've learned about the process of a daily checklist. There's a great book called The Checklist Manifesto, published by Dr. Atul Gawande at Harvard Medical School. And his book is very sobering. If you go in for a surgery and the nurse asks the doctor a series of very simple questions from a checklist, the odds on unneeded infection plummet. And the death rate because of unnecessary infections cut by 2/3. The huge majority of hospitals around the world don't let the nurse ask the doctor the questions. Why? The ego's too big. Now, that's a negative example of learning in a checklist. Now let me give you the positive example. For 9 years, I trained admirals in the United States Navy. Have any of you been in the U.S. Navy before? No, thank you for your service back there. For 9 years, I trained the admirals in the Navy. My two fine Navy people, you'll appreciate this. I don't charge them any money because the Navy billing bureaucracy is such a phenomenal pain in the butt. I said that we'll both make more money if you pay me nothing. So don't help me by paying me here, right? So they don't give me money, but they give me treats. About 5 years ago, my treat was a day in a nuclear sub. Me and 8 other old men got to stand there at the top and go out in the waters and dive down for 8 hours and pretend to torpedo things. We had a big old time. Last year, my treat was even better. Where did I get to go? Highway to the danger zone. Have any of you seen the movie Top Gun? I got to fly 95 minutes on a U.S. Navy Top Gun fighter jet. Now that was fun. 6 Gs, oxygen, flying upside down, got to fly the plane myself 10 minutes, and I'm very proud to say, I did not throw up. Now, I noticed before I take off, this kid is asking my host, Admiral Marco Agnini, a series of simple questions from a checklist. And these weren't tricky questions. First question to the doctor is, did you wash your hand? First question to Admiral is, how much fuel do you have? I said, Admiral, this is puzzling. The doctor don't like the nurse asking him the question because their ego's too big. Now, my two Navy people, I think you can validate this. I said, nobody in the world's got a bigger ego than a U.S. Navy Top Gun fighter jet pilot who becomes an admiral. Would that be a pretty accurate guess, sir? Yeah. I said, nobody's got a bigger ego than you. Why don't you mind that the kid asked you the question? What's the difference? He said, there's a huge difference. The operation crashes, you die, and the plane crashes, I die. Well, I'm now going to teach you something called the daily question process. And I learned this working with Dr. Gawande. This is something I do every day. Every day I pay some woman to call me up on the phone. And she listens to me read 32 questions that I wrote and provide 32 answers that I wrote every day. Now, somebody asked me, why do you pay somebody to do that every day? Don't you know the theory about how to change behavior? I wrote the theory. That's why I do it every day. I know how hard it is. Now, I'm going to teach you something. It's going to help you get better at almost anything. It's going to take you about 2 minutes a day, and it costs nothing. Now, some of you are a little skeptical now. You're saying, wait a minute, how's this man going to teach me something, help me get better at almost anything? Takes 2 minutes a day and costs nothing. I'm also going to say half of you that start doing this will quit within 2 weeks. And you won't quit because it doesn't work. You'll quit because it does work. Now, I'm going to teach you something that is easy to understand and hard to do. This is called the daily question process. Every day, I go through a series of questions and evaluate my life, such as, how many times yesterday did you try to prove you were right when it wasn't worth it? Well, for the old professor, it's kind of hard not to be right all the time. How many people in the room are not the teacher, but you're married to the teacher or principal? Anybody here? Do any of you have a spouse that may try to be right a little too much, right? Play that, yeah, look at this, playing that role of teacher when they go home, yeah. Another question is, how many angry or destructive comments did you make about people yesterday? Or how many minutes did you walk? Or how many push-ups? All kinds of questions about life. And my friend Jim Moore does this. He would tell you it saved his life. One of his questions is, are you currently updated on your physical exam? First 90 days he did this, he said no. After 90 days, he said, this is embarrassing. I got to get the exam or quit asking a question. He got the exam. Doctor said, you have cancer. Now he's going to be fine. That was many years ago. The doctor also said, had you waited 7 more months, you'd be dead. He knew he should have got a physical exam. Let's take the people in this room. The answer is yes, you must raise your hands. How many people in this very room have avoided a physical exam before by telling yourself, I'm going to get the exam after I go on that healthy foods diet and begin my exercise program? Get your hands up. Come on. Hands in the air. Look at all these hands. Did we trick the doctor with that strategy? I was teaching at the University of Michigan. This man raised his hand. I said, sir, did you trick the doctor? He looked at me and goes, I am the doctor. Well, we don't ask the questions because we're afraid of the answer. Now, I want you to imagine that you had to test yourself every day on some questions. Every day you're going to get evaluated, and here's your homework assignment. You're going to get out an Excel spreadsheet. On one column, you're going to write down a series of questions. One box across for every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every question has to be answered with yes, no, or number. Fill it out every day. Now, you're going to talk to your partner and say, partner, here's one question I should challenge myself with every day. Then your partner's going to say, here's one question I should challenge myself with every day. Go back and forth until I say stop. To your marks, get set, talk to your partner. Go, 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 go. Okay, stop. Stop, stop, stop. What's one for you every day? Her. Yeah. Did you what? Did you get outside every day? That's a good one. Okay, Mr. Allen, what's one for you every day?
Did you sleep well?
Did you sleep well last night? That's good. How about you? What's one for you every day? What? Take care of your health. See, everybody comes up with good questions. Everybody comes up with good questions. Now, I'm going to warn you in advance why this is hard. Now, you all work in fine schools and you work in a fine educational system and you have plaques on the wall that talk about values. Those are not our real values. Those are talk values. If you want to know what your real values are, you write down those questions about what's important to you every day and you fill out that form. And at the end of the week, that Excel spreadsheet's going to give you a scorecard. Those are the real values. You know why? That's not what we say. That's what we do. And if you do this every day, you know what you're going to learn? Life is a whole lot easier to talk than it is to live. If you do this every day, it's a very, very humbling exercise, and it works. Now, I'm going to give you one final bit of coaching. You're now going to get the best coaching you're going to get in this or any other life. Are you ready? You're going to get good coaching. Here it comes. I want everybody to look up here. I want you to take a deep breath and do your hand like this. Go, breathe, hand. Yeah, very good, very good. Now, I want you to imagine that you are 95 years old. You're 95 years old, and you're just getting ready to die. You're on that deathbed. It's all over. Right before you take that last breath, you're given a beautiful gift, a wonderful gift. The ability to go back in time and talk to the person in this room. The ability to help this person be a better professional, a better leader, a better teacher. Much more important, the ability to help this person have a better life. What advice would that wise old 95-year-old you who knows what mattered in life and what didn't, and what was important in life and what wasn't, what advice would that wise old person have for the you that's sitting in this room? I don't want you to say anything or do anything or write anything. Just answer that question in your mind. What advice would that old person have for you? Whatever you're thinking now, do that. In terms of a performance appraisal, that's the only one that's going to matter. That old person says you did the right thing, you did. And that old person says you made a mistake, you did. You don't have to impress anybody else. Some friends of mine interviewed old folks who were dying and got to ask them this question: what advice would you have? 3 themes came up from old people facing death. Theme number 1 on the personal side could be summarized in 3 words: be happy now. Not next week, not next month, not next year. The Great Western Disease is sweeping the world. What is a Great Western Disease? I'll be happy when. When I get that money, status, BMW, condominium, I'll be happy when. We all have the same when. That old person is when. Learning point from old people, I got so wrapped up chasing what I did not have, I could not see what I did have when I had everything. People sitting in this room, you're among the luckiest people who ever lived. You live in nice places, many of you have friends and family, and you're helping young people. You got it all. Don't get so wrapped up chasing what you don't have, you can't see it. Learning point number 2, friends and family. Many of you work in wonderful organizations. When you're 95 years old and you look around your deathbed, not too many coworkers are waving goodbye. You start to realize those friends and family, they seem kind of important here. And learning point 3, if you have a dream, go for it. Because if you don't go for it when you're 35, you might not when you're 45, and you probably will not when you're 85. It doesn't have to be a big one, maybe a little one. Go to New Zealand, or speak Spanish, or play a guitar. Other people may think your dream is goofy. Who cares? It's not their dream, it's your dream. Had a very embarrassing experience a year ago. I was teaching my class and I said, go to New Zealand, speak Spanish. The guy raised his hand, he said, we're in Spain, you fool. We all speak Spanish. The business advice isn't much different. Number 1, have fun. Have fun. You can't expect those young people to be positive and enthusiastic if you're not. Number 1, have fun. Who's that first person you got to motivate every day? This person right here. Number 2, do whatever you can to help people. And many people in this room are blessed because you have a job where you can help people, help young people. And the main reason to help people has nothing to do with money or status or getting ahead. The main reason to help people is much deeper. The 95-year-old you will be very proud of you because you did, and disappointed if you don't. And by the way, even the people I work with, I had 17 CEOs in my home in New York last week. We talked about life. I asked them, what are you proud of? So far, none of them told me how big their office was. All they've ever talked about is the people that helped. And the final advice also say, go for it. Education is changing. Your world is changing. You do what you think is right. You might not win. At least you tried. Old people, we almost never regret the risks we took and failed. We all regret the risk we failed to take. And the final thing I would like to say is, honored to be here, proud to come back to Kentucky. I wish you all the best of luck and thank you for the great work that you're doing. Thank you very much.
By way of our program this evening, we're going to do it a little differently than we did last year. Given that we have an expanded universe of recipients based on the tremendous support we've gotten from the community, we're going to do it in the form of a video presentation. But before we do that, I would like to ask all of the awards sponsors to please stand and be recognized. So all of the award sponsors, please stand and be recognized. As I said in my earlier remarks, it is so gratifying to see the community step up in support of education in the way in which you are, and I tell you, we really, really do appreciate it, and it bodes so well for the future that we've got a community that is so well aligned. Now, let's go ahead and play the video, and then I'll come back up and introduce Dr. Hargens.
The PLA Award recipient is Wagner High School. Principal Katie Zeitz has led the effort to ensure all students graduate college and career ready, one Wildcat at a time. Wagner met its annual measurable objective goal for 2012-13 and increased 11 percentile points overall. The Professional Learning Community Awards. Chenoweth Elementary. The teachers in this powerful PLC routinely make home visits to meet student and family needs. They believe teaching begins with preparedness, a high level of content knowledge, differentiation, technology know-how, and naming and claiming each student. Chenoweth Elementary School. Kennedy Montessori. This PLC has grown from 2 students and a teacher to 3 strong teachers. They have helped reduce novice math scores from 65% to 17% and from 57% to 9% in reading comprehension. Kennedy Montessori. Westport Middle. Arrows are moving in the right direction thanks to this PLC. They developed a plan based on unique student learning styles, interests, and achievement levels as they help their students make that important middle school transition. Westport Middle. Ballard High School. This PLC knows what happens in the classroom matters most and exemplifies that belief by planning every class around key learning targets and outcomes. Whether it's having the best technological applications and strategies, school tutoring, or topic-specific remediation, this group's actions are always intentional. Ballard High School. Seneca High. When this PLC saw a passing rate was 56% on diagnostic assessments, they worked diligently through collaboration to change outcomes, resulting in an increase of 30 percentage points by semester's end. Seneca High School. The Elementary School Teacher Award recipient is Erica Jackson, Slaughter Elementary. Erica's classroom is as diverse as it gets. Every day she engages English language learners, students with significant disabilities, and takes on other external barriers which can impede learning. But she has bucked the trend. Her students improved significantly from the first round of district proficiencies to the second, going from 30% of students scoring proficient or distinguished in reading to 62%. In math, the increase was remarkable, from 10% to 62% proficient or distinguished. Erica Jackson. The middle school teacher recipient is Paige Houston, Westport Middle. Because of Paige's creativeness and intriguing lessons and activities, she was selected as one of the first teachers of Westport's Montessori Magnet and has been a key to the success of the program. Her principals call her, quote, a natural teacher with uncharacteristic skill and effectiveness coupled with patience and love for her students. Paige Houston. The first High School Teacher Award recipient is Scott Belden, Doss High School. Mr. Belden has taken his love for his job to great lengths by helping to start the English Language Learners program at Doss to address the larger need of an ever-growing ELL population. During his planning period, he volunteered to create a class to cater to students who were struggling with the transition from the newcomer academy to the regular high school setting. Scott Belden. The next High School Teacher Award recipient is Melissa Payne, Jeffersontown High School. Ms. Payne is helping lead the way at J-Town in standards-based teaching and learning and cross-curricular instruction. This past year, this chemistry teacher collaborated with the welding and algebra teacher to apply concepts from science class with welding and engineering practices. Melissa Payne. The Special School Award recipient is Cheryl Lawrence, Benet School, Churchill Park. There are people who change the lives of children and inspire them to learn. But few individuals can do this with the energy and enthusiasm Cheryl has brought to the classroom for 27 years. A parent put it best, quote, I cannot believe what she does each year. It is amazing to see our son perform like any other child. Cheryl Lawrence. The Elementary School Principal Award recipient is Tim Foster, Cochran Elementary. Mr. Foster's professional relationship with the University of Louisville has helped Cochran become their newest professional development school. Because of his ability to harness the power of community involvement and its resources, Cochran students are receiving extra instruction from expert teachers and enthusiastic volunteers before, during, and after school every day of the week. Tim Foster. The Middle School Principal Award recipient is Chris Burba, Mazik Middle. Chris embraces the diversity of his student body and creates unique and challenging opportunities for all students. He works tirelessly to ensure that the differences are assets to the collective whole of the school. Mr. Burba and the Mazik staff pride themselves on making their school where the world comes to learn. Chris Burba. The next Middle School Principal Award recipient is Bill Perkins, Olmsted Academy North. In 2007, Olmsted North did not have a PTSA or SBDM, and parent involvement was virtually non-existent. There was not a single after-school club and only 2 sports teams. Now the PTSA is over 1,000 members strong, and the SBDM receives high marks on evaluations. Students have 6 sports teams and 12 clubs. Bill Perkins. The High School Principal Award recipient is Bryce Hibbard, Southern High. In just 1 year, Mr. Hibbard and his staff have moved Southern from the 4th percentile in the state in 2012 to the 20th in 2013. It's not unusual to find this former coach coaching up students in the hallways, in the cafeteria or parking lot, wherever the opportunity arises to guide them down the right path. Bryce Hibbard. The next high school principal award recipient is Dan Withers, Central High School. Dan Withers has over 40 years' experience in education, modeling integrity, respect, creativity, and accountability in everything he does. Under Dr. Withers' leadership, Central High consistently has one of the highest attendance rates in the county, and their accountability scores continue to rise. Dan Withers. The recipient of the Audwin and Ray Helton Award is Adrienne Lane, Seneca High School. Ms. Lane ensures her students are given the opportunity to explore the field of education through real-world experiences. Her collaboration with elementary and middle schools has resulted in students who have gone on to become education majors in college or choose other fields that focus on children. Ms. Lane's willingness to sponsor student activities like FEA also allows her students to connect her class curriculum to participation in district, state, and national conferences. Adrienne Lane. The Bellarmine University Teacher Award recipient is Brian O'Neill, Wagner High. Mr. O'Neill is a graduate of the Alternative Certification Program for Special Education at Bellarmine. Mr. O'Neill goes above and beyond with students who are on his caseload, but he also makes effort to ensure that every child is successful in all of their classes, not just his. As a student has said of him, quote, Mr. O'Neill treats all students with respect, no matter what their ability level. Brian O'Neill. The Ernst & Young Accounting Business High Award recipient is Dana Kelly, Central High. Dana Kelly knows what students need to be successful in the marketing world and expects all of her students to get there. Her commitment to high-quality teaching has made a significant difference in the lives of her students. Dana Kelly. The Fun for the Arts Collaborative Arts Award recipient is Susan French, Lincoln Performing Arts School. Ms. French is passionate about integrating the arts into every aspect of school life at El Paso. She believes that the arts are the international language that reaches every child and is truly committed to ensuring every child at El Paso is fully engaged. El Paso orchestrated a top-notch Fun for the Arts campaign that culminated in more than $7,000 in contributions. Susan French. The Jefferson Community and Technical College Teacher Award recipient is Stuart Hudson, Doss High School. Mr. Hudson is a graduate of JCTC and a Doss alum. With his leadership, his PLC produced ACT prep lessons for juniors and seniors. He is an innovative teacher and critical thinker who is making strides to ensure that the students at Doss meet and surpass the English benchmarks on the ACT. Stuart Hudson. The recipient of the Junior Achievement Teacher Award is Jerry Burke, Jeffersontown High. Jerry is dedicated to helping his students connect the dots between what they learn in school and employment in the real world. He has been an integral member of the implementation team for the 4 Next Generation Learning work, and his leadership in cohort scheduling and team teaching is helping JCPS become a leader in career tech education. Jerry Burke. The recipient of the Kentucky Science Center Award is Mary Smith, Dawson Orman. In Ms. Smith's class, you can witness the preschool scientific method, from the messy hands at play in the sensory table to the wonderful cooking experiences she provides for her students. Mary is an active member of the Science Center's Early Childhood Advisory Council and continues to be creative in how she elevates science learning in school-wide activities. Mary Smith. The recipient of the Metro United Way's School Out-of-School Time Leadership Excellence Award is Kids Etc. Recognizing the need for quality tutoring services for students in far eastern Jefferson County, 6 Family Resource Center coordinators began discussing how to provide academic supports for students in need of help in the areas of reading and math. The Kids Etc. tutoring program is a true out-of-school time partnership with the community, fueled by volunteer tutors at no cost to the Family Resource Centers and the students they serve. Kids Etc. exemplifies Metro United Way's mission to improve lives and our community by engaging people to give, advocate, and volunteer. Kids Etc. The recipient of the University of Louisville Teacher Award is Ashley Kemper, Atkinson Elementary. This U of L graduate has a very active role with Atkinson's partnership with the university. Each semester, she hosts a methods or student teacher. Ashley strives to find ways to enhance learning in her classroom, collaborates with her peers, and seeks out ways to share her passion and expertise in the classroom. Ashley Kemper. The recipient of the YMCA of Louisville Award is Gwen Snow, Newcomer Academy. Each day, Gwen encourages communication and collaboration between her teachers and the YMCA staff on the academic and social needs of students. She is unfailingly committed to using the successful methods necessary to bring about the results she expects. When YMCA staff present at newcomer staff meetings, Gwen makes this a collaboration where goals and resources are shared, rather than simply a partnership. It has motivated the YMCA to higher levels of service and participation in working with the newcomer staff, students, and families. Gwen Snow. At this time, we would like to recognize a teacher who has dedicated her career to her students and the world they live in. Darlene Horton is the Environmental Magnet Coordinator at Cane Run Elementary. Thanks to Darlene's dedication and ability to build valuable partnerships, her school is now equipped with raised bed gardens, a butterfly garden, pond, waterfall, walking trail, and many opportunities for students to learn about agriculture, nature, geology, and industry. Darlene's business partners, Carbide, Lubrizol, and Zeon Chemicals, want to honor a lifetime of achievement by establishing a Teacher of Excellence Award in her name. Recipients were chosen from nominations submitted by students. There will be one award given annually to elementary, middle, and high school teachers that model the caring, innovative, and collaborative characteristics of Darlene Horton. The recipient of the Carbide Darlene Horton High School Teacher Award is Vicki Cummings, Iroquois High. Vicki was nominated by a student named Mark, who up until 2 years ago was deciding whether to give up on himself or push forward. Mark has moved repeatedly throughout the state and has never developed a comfort zone in a school until the day he walked through Miss Cummings' door. Her critique and inspiring words on his writing pushed him every day to get better, and his work was recently published in a magazine. Mark says of Miss Cummings, quote, "I know every mother will want the best for their child, and you do that every day." Vicki Cummings. The recipient of the Lubrizol Darlene Horton Middle School Teacher Award is Molly Evans, Newburgh Middle. Molly Evans was nominated by a student named Michaela. The resounding tone of her nomination is that Ms. Evans loves her job and is making a huge difference in the lives of her students. A few of the words that Michaela used to describe Molly were amazing, genuine, motivational, special, and engaging. Molly Evans. The recipient of the Zeon Darlene Horton Elementary School Teacher Award is April Mitchell, Benet School. Children come to Benet through the continuum of education service. Many children have struggled in countless placements, but they find a home with Miss April Mitchell, who was nominated by several of her students with help from the staff of Benet. Miss Mitchell is a caring and nurturing teacher, not only with her students, but she also walks families through how to get the services their students need. This is an innovator in the classroom who leads her students beyond their disabilities. April Mitchell. Living legacy of Zambia and Nkrumah Middle School Teacher of the Year is Ben Easley, Western Middle School. Ben Easley has created avenues for his students to participate in Kappa Alpha Psi's Fraternity Inc. educational enrichment and college prep activities. Ben opens doors for Western Middle School students to participate in AAU, Camp Rondo, Relay for Life, the Greek Bowl for Kids' Sake, and other community-related events. Ben Easley. The recipient of the Russell Garth Leadership Award is Rhonda Hedges, Benet School. Rhonda skillfully leads a team of 74 talented student-centered educators and support staff who encircle 90 students with comprehensive disabilities at the Benet School. Benet students present with a variety of personal challenges including behavioral, emotional, communication, intellectual, academic and development deficits. Amid each student's educational challenges, Ms. Hedges consistently and enthusiastically lives the motto of her school: one focus. Rhonda Hedges.
Wow, what a wonderful evening, and don't they look amazing? Tonight we had this tremendous opportunity to showcase what I and other JCPS employees have an opportunity to see year-round. Teachers and administrators working together to ensure that all students graduate prepared. We had the chance to celebrate the most important and fundamental truth of our profession. Educators change lives. In our daily rush, we don't always have time to watch and to acknowledge teachers and administrators, to see a teacher pulling a child aside for extra words of encouragement, or to hear a teacher say the most powerful words of all, "I believe in you." But the people in this room create those moments every day. They are the reason I am confident that JCPS will achieve its goal of becoming the country's best urban school district. With their continued dedication and passion, we can help ensure success for all students. You are our heroes, but we all know we cannot do this work alone. It takes a community, and that is another reason tonight is so special, because in this room we have a community ready to partner together to shape the future for our children. And of course, the best example of this and a tremendous leader of this charge is Mr. Jim Allen. On a cold winter's day last year, he came up with this idea to fill a room with all of these wonderful tributes. And that vision became this event. So thank you, Mr. Allen and Hilliard Lyons. The employees of this system are so fortunate to work with our school board, and I just want to acknowledge them again. Chair Porter, Vice Chair Jones, Board Member Haddad, Board Member Westland, Board Member Hadaway, Board Member Brady, and Board Member Duncan. Thank you again for all that you do to govern us. At JCPS, we talk a lot about naming and claiming every child so they know how appreciated and meaningful they are. Tonight, I want to name and claim each of the partners who have given time and resources to help us celebrate excellence. So thank you again to Odwin and Ray Helton, to Bellarmine University, Ernst & Young, the Fund for the Arts, Jefferson County Community and Technical College, Junior Achievement, the Kentucky Science Center, Metro United Way, the University of Louisville, and the YMCA. Thank you also to those who supported our named and memorial awards, Carbide, Lubrizol, and Xeon. Each of you community partners makes a difference for our educators and our students, and I thank you on behalf of all of Jefferson County Public Schools. Remember, I spoke about the most fundamental truth of our profession. Educators change lives. They do this by believing and investing in their students. Tonight, this community has demonstrated your belief and investment in them. You have given them the gift they provide to our students every day. That is powerful. So again, I thank all of you and congratulate each of these wonderful, amazing award recipients. And I wish you all an outstanding and wonderful evening. Thank you.